really need y'all to bear with me for these first few videos, because the hardest part about being an overanalyzer is getting the thoughts in my head to come out of my mouth the way I think them.
They would still wife me. They would still wife me. Yup, him too, he would still wife me. When it comes to stealing flows, these birds is fluent.
Good morning, happy Friday, and welcome to Thriving Single. I am currently on my way to downtown San Jose. I live in Texas. Downtown Austin to volunteer, which means we're gonna be in traffic for some time, so I thought it would be a good time to film a video. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty confident this will be the first video you guys see. I don't know if this layout will be what we're doing, and I'm not gonna lie, this is not the first video I've filmed. It has been a real learning curve deciding to do YouTube and making the content attainable. It's really taught me a lot about myself. Like, I am a responder and not much of a talker. I just don't like talking just to talk. But I'm always thinking. So I think that's why I was always leaning towards writing, because it gives me time to process my thoughts and then write them down and edit them if necessary to reflect what I'm actually feeling. And it's a little harder for me to just talk and say all the things that are going through my mind. So that's that. I've also learned that I'm a perfectionist, and I mean, I've always known that, but having to make content where essentially I have to just candidly be myself, but in my mind, how I want to say and deliver things doesn't actually come out of my mouth that way. And I've filmed like a few other videos, and I have 2 copies of each, because if I feel like I didn't deliver the way I want to, or I forgot to say something, I feel like I need to redo it. And then that's just exhausting, because then I have to like chop and screw and edit everything, and it's just exhausting, okay? But we're doing it. It's a good lesson, and it'll help me with my public speaking skills, I hope. Anywho, that's not even what I'm here to talk about today.
Head south. Keep left at the fork.
Okay, Susan, thank you. Damn it, I forgot what I was saying. So yeah, that's not even what I want to talk about. I want to talk about rekindling.
Continue on Texas 1 loop south.
Rekindling old relationships. How y'all feel about that? You thumbs up or thumbs down on, you know, wanting that old thing back. Comment below your feelings and why. Personally, I don't do do-overs. Like, the first time we date, if it doesn't work out, I'm just kind of like on to the next. And I'll never say never, because who knows, I may end up in a situation where I just love him so much and it just doesn't work the first time, so a do-over is necessary. But I've been there, done that, and it's always the same BS. If I were to get back with someone, it would have to be several years later, and it would have to be a real discussion. I think so many times people get back together and they don't really talk about like why they really separated, like the fundamentals of why it didn't work. Like, you value this, I don't, I value something else, or we don't communicate, you don't speak my love language, I don't feel seen or cared for. Like, people don't want to have that conversation. So for me, if I ever were to get back with an ex, it would have to be a real conversation of like, this is why I didn't feel we were vibing. Did you catch that? Do you think that has changed? That things would play out differently? And if so, all right, let's give it a shot. But most of the time, people don't want to have that conversation, and no one thinks anything's wrong with them. You know what I'm saying? So when I was in college, there was this fine zaddy on the football team that I had eyes for him since like my first day. We finally talked, and it just wasn't there. Something was off. And we dated. I mean, we didn't really date. We talked several times in the span of like 2 years. I think we like started talking, stopped talking maybe like 5 times, to the point where my friends were just like, Aubrey, stop trying to be with this guy. Like, y'all are not good together. Stop it. And I think I did that one more time in college with another guy, and I was just done. Like, I was just like, this is lame. Because if you really wanted to be with me, the first time that we were attempting to talk and be together, you would have tried harder. You would have got that ish together the first time. And that doesn't mean you're going to be perfect and you're not going to hurt my feelings and we're not going to get in arguments. But like, if we really wanted to be together, we're going to work it out and try and change those things and make it work. I don't really do like the whole breakup, get back together, that circle of like, are they, aren't they, on and off. I just don't. And sometimes you're just fundamentally different. Like, me and these guys were just not, there was not a click, and we just kept trying to be together because honestly, he looked good. I'm like, you look so good. I want to be with you. And that's a whole nother story of how looks don't really mean much. Like, just because I'm physically attracted to you does not mean that we're compatible. And that has took me a long time to learn, because a lot of times I would get sprung off these guys because they look so bomb, zaddy, but there's no spark.
In a half mile, use
Or
the left lane to take the Texas 360 loop south, capital of TX highways.
Or they didn't want to treat me right, and like, instead of taking the hint the first time, being like, you're probably not what I need, I was like, nah fam, 4th time's the charm. I'm pretty confident
Use the left lane
this is
to take
it.
the Texas 360 loop.
And this is not to say that the guys are the problem. I'm also super slow to like really open
In a
up.
half mile, use
Like,
the
I'm
left
just
2 lanes to take the US 290 East, Texas
not-
71 East ramp to Bastrop.
Oh, did I just miss my shiz? No, I didn't. I'm just not an open book like that. Like, it takes me
Use the left 2
a
lanes to
minute
take the
to
US
really
290 East ramp.
open up and trust your intentions, because you have to protect your heart. You know, like, once you fall for someone, it's a wrap.
Texas 71 East
Like, once you
half
are in
mile.
love,
In a
you're
half mile,
blinded
north of
to
Texas
all of their
71
nasty habits and all the things that are just no bueno, because you're like, but he's so fine, you know, and like, oh, I love you. And then sex dilutes it. It's just a mess. It's just a mess. And so instead of, you know, getting stuck on someone and wasting months or years of my life trying to rekindle something that is just not meant to be, I'm out.
Continue on Texas 71
And I
East
think
for 3 miles.
To a lot of people that comes off as like I'm a man-eater or I'm like cold-blooded, but I just know, I know what I deserve and I know what I want. And like, let's not waste each other's time. Like, if we're not going to be good to each other, let's kick rocks. Find that person who can be everything you need. And I used to get really butthurt when things wouldn't work out, because I'm just like, why am I not enough for you? Like, I was just really insecure. So when I would break up with guys, it was always like their fault. In my mind, it was their fault. And it was just because, like, you just weren't good enough for me, which is not the case necessarily. Because Because a lot of the guys I've dated, with the exception, I think maybe 2 guys. I just missed my exit. God dang it. With the exception of 2 guys, every guy I've been involved with is such a good guy. Like, they're such sweethearts and they just want to be loved, but I just don't think I was the woman for them. So I had to let it rock, you know? And I'm not one to beat around the bush. I'll straight up just be like, you know, it's been a good run. I just don't think we are good for one another. And I'm not trying to be cold-blooded. I'm just trying to save you and myself some time. You smell me? I feel like I missed my exit. So I didn't get the chance to properly end my video because I arrived at my destination and then first I got lost and then I was volunteering, so. But essentially, I don't believe in dating people I've already dated because it's just played. Like, I don't want to set myself up for failure. Pursuing something that I already gave my best effort to and it womped. So I move on. I'm like, once I'm over you, I'm over you. Like, I'm just not that person. I do check on my exes, but it's mostly just because I'm nosy. Like, if you've moved on and you're happy, I'm like, if you're doing bad, I'm like, ooh, damn, dodged a bullet. But I know if you're with me and like you really break past my hard shell, that it's worth it. And yeah, I value myself too much to just keep getting played in the same scenario. Like, I am not even gonna, so yeah. How do y'all feel about wanting that old thing back? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Once again, I promise we'll get better. They probably all won't be in my car, or they might be, because low-key, I do better talking to myself in the car than in my apartment, because I'm weird and I don't like people knowing that I'm filming YouTube. I'll get over it. But thanks for watching. See you guys next time.